Okay.
And so we already had a big laugh, but energies are, let's start with, maybe it's a good idea to ask the space fairies to come in directly, because I think they are already here, but then people understand how they can do it by just asking the space fairies to come in and to help us.
Yeah.
I can feel it coming in. And and we were talking about, and maybe it's not the right topic to call it the Golden Child Part 4, but there is something related to the Golden Child which is important, and that's connections in the family on Earth. And Patricia can maybe start in a little while to do her work on that. And next to that, I heard Patricia and Inger talking about some planetary changes and some portal changes. So we're going to talk about that as well. And as Inger already said, she will just move in when the energy asks or the guidance asks her. I will do the same with my frequencies. So maybe it's a good idea that you start. What's the earthly connection and the frequencies for what we do with the connections between, for instance, a mother and a child, or family relations and all those contacts?
Yeah, I'm going to start with some codes before that.
Please do that.
Yeah, because they are very strong now. Tiniana Tatisha Uhatanaya Sama Hayatuna Nona Donta Sia Hawaiata Sina Muyantini and Donna Nua to Isa Rama Hayo Kapotisha too. Here I don't know, you have to do down to Sua Tata Tina. I you ya Hayana Nia Salvatia Putuana no Maya. Yeah. Okay. Yes, about contracts. It feels like I'm gonna see the interhuman aspects with parents, with child. Mana satania tu the putu to sit in the no jata and the putu kota satinia to da. Okay, it's about pain, it's about hurting. It's about sadness.
And maybe it's a good idea, because you're talking before we started the recording also about the portal with the red and the blue dragon, which were also in this atmosphere.
Later.
Okay.
Yeah, later.
How was this for you, Inger?
I felt it touch a subject that has many of the people who I have worked with the last days also have an issue with, and that is releasing fully the contracts. And that has to do with many of the contracts we have. We are not even aware. They are so old that they are playing out in our lives automatically. A lot of them have to do with taking over things as our own, which is actually something we do with the collective, but it's also something the children does from their parents. The way the parents or the experience of reality is formed in a child, it's when they are very small, especially before age 3, most patterns are set into the child, because the child does not experience itself as disconnected in no way from the parents. So what the parents feel, they experience as their own feeling. The parents' behavior, they take on as a concept of how to be and how to do things. It isn't always all of the patterns from the parents the child takes over. Usually that is set on beforehand. I'm going to take on especially this and especially that, because that is going to be my main focus in this lifetime. But before the age of 3, usually most patterns are weaved in. And from the age of 3, or what we as parents call the age of when the child discovers the word no, the child starts to really start to disconnect and form its own personality or its own identity. And then the patterns are kind of set up. Yeah. So this is something needs to be worked through and released. But many times we have because
you touched something in my system.
Yeah.
Because in my system, the what you are telling about parents, the 3-year-old until the no phase, and the golden child, which we made open or enter into the system.
The pictures I was given there was that when around age 3, as you connected back to your body, there was like disconnection of the complete flow into the right side of the brain, the intuitive energy. So that instead of being fully informed and open on that side, it was like there happened like the left brain, what we call the logic mind, starts to take over to form the personality. And there was a kind of deep sadness with the shutting down or the diminishing of the connection that started to take place. It's like it felt like a huge kind of feeling of separation. Mm-hmm. And when you brought that energy in, it was like a reopening, where a huge beam of energy kind of came down into the right side of the brain, like reconnecting back to the state of having the capacity to experience oneself as oneness, as one field, but still keep on to the identity or the personality to the degree that we can function here. Mm-hmm. So I felt there was a huge healing in those codes that you brought through. Mm.
Yeah, because it feels like being lost in, I don't know, is it ego? No, it feels like lost in space.
Yes.
Because there's no grounding, there's nothing. It's just lost. And for me, it feels like we get that when our little kids are starting to get their own identity. But it feels also the way the other part, because you were also that little kid. And so the line go back and back and back. So it's a large feeling of lost. Mm-hmm. I have something for that too, for that sadness on this line. Haya, 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 oh ya, Noah, Hi, I say, Umanaya, Nia, Waya, hey, Nia, Maya, Nia, Lumaya, Tania, Panania, Nuaya, Sikatana, Moyata, Chitapana, and the Manina, Nita, Yogata, Yikita, Mwai,
Kionoma, ea kokotene minia kakatana kiono domene kia kataisha, eshene nio koi kokotemeniaka, adoyono mene, kiokotia kashatai, eyono totoyokotia danasha, eko kiokotono namania. You brought in a spiral of healing, Patricia, and the space fairies and the energies came through. Delivering codes actually they were kind of speaking directly to the human body, to the emotional body and to the mental field, or the mental body, in order to inform that what was perceived as separation that time. We are talking about when the child starting to identify its own personality. Yeah, it can be experienced almost traumatic and hard, sadness, whatever, but it's also an amazing gift. Because without that, we wouldn't have any capacity to develop our own experiences, to go through our own personality feelings, our personal feelings, and have the experience that this realm is capable of offering us.
and also for the earth life.
It's for the earth life.
Yeah.
It is for the earth life, yeah. Because the earth life, yeah, many can say duality is harsh and it's terrible and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but that's just a little tip of it.
Yeah.
Most of our day-to-day life is filled with sweet and nice and very comfortable and entertaining experiences that we actually love to have. The interconnection with each other, with nature, with animals, with our work, with our passions, with art, everything.
It's interesting because
we couldn't have had without we had taken that kind of separation and had that. So what I see here, we are actually healing or bringing up the healing of the next level of what they perceived as a dramatic separation, and bringing that into balance. Yeah.
Is it also helping exactly what you mentioned, because we are here in a duality and focused especially on the duality and say, oh, it's this bad and everything is bad and not nice. And in fact, everything is really nice, and we don't, but we forget to focus on it. Isn't this also healing, the focus?
Yeah.
Pointed at more positive things, and
yes.
done and I got something for that as well.
Yeah.
Takes away the emotional layers that are not necessary anymore, to bring back the balance, because we can hold on to all the sadness and the angriness and the pain and make that big in our system, and all the beautiful things we only take for the moment. So we just let it small against big, and what with the coach to bring that, just you make it balanced again. So it's not a big cloud anymore, but it has balance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting what you say. What I got was two big glowing orange beams that came like this, and they worked a lot on my third eye, and that created a diamond shape in my face for me to look through, to look into. As they say, when you shift your perception, there's another reality available.
Yeah.
If you choose to look through that. So it's, beautiful.
Yeah.
So again, what is brought into my awareness here is that what you really need to learn in all this situation, again, come down to harmonizing.
Yeah.
Harmony. Because we are at a planet that's in an amazing shift. We are learning to see our past actually in a whole new way. Because when you are deeply embedded in the trauma, you only see the trauma. It fills you. When you start to heal it, there are little pieces of density that are being removed, and the pattern of experiences changes until you reach a level where you can catch yourself and say, hey, what was it really that person said? Or what was it really I experienced here? Was it the same as I always believe I have experienced or heard? Or is it possible that I can stretch my awareness, open myself more, and hear it differently?
Mm-hmm.
And when you then can allow yourself to anchor into that state of consciousness, you can start to hear the person's essence speaking to you. And then you will see and hear that everything we say, everything we do, actually emanate from our true essence within. But it is distorted by our patterns on our way out. So if I would say something to you, Patricia, from a pattern, it's my essence that will speak to you, but my pattern will distort it. And you will receive it to your pattern, which means that from here, from my essence to your essence, there will be some kind of tricky waves in between, you know. But when you lean to really bypass that and to dissolve that, we will end up being essences communicated with essences. And that is when the true love and the true beauty really harmonizes and begin. And that's where we are heading.
Yeah.
That's what we're being trained for.
Yeah. And what I feel is during my life outside, when I run into people who don't stay on their pureness, I feel that immediately. And I feel where they are blocked, and I feel how they cannot make contact with me anymore on that point. And I can't reach their higher self on that point. I think it's a very difficult time now. We are growing all more in pureness and stand up for it and give it through. But not everybody is there yet. So
no, it isn't. And at the same time, when the energy is as intense as it is now, we just don't walk, we jump. We take quantum leaps. That means that from one day to another, you can disalign to a lot of people who used to be there. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So we all just have, I used to say to myself, if I can only find one thing to harmonize within that person, then hold on to that energy instead of stepping into all the differences. It's hard thing, but that's the only thing I actually can.
Yeah, that's what we did, what the codes were for just before on balancing, because now it's made easier to focus on that that harmonization part instead of all the other patterns. The funny thing is that Patricia and I, since we got energetically married, we've been on the communication path, and the communication path is only possible when you are pure.
Yeah.
So we are connected to the heart all the time, and as much as possible, and especially when we go outside, as soon as somebody, some energy of somebody else comes in, we connect to the heart, because that's the basis of everything. And probably you have learned to do it from inside on a different way, but with the same effect. But a lot of people don't realize that there are still minds. So the patterns they took over, and the heart has a smaller place. So it's very interesting, because everything is like from different angles. We're doing the same things and having the same goals.
I have something for the confuseness. What it brings for this period. Oh yeah, manaya. Aya papio waya. Aya bayo ayo. Aya we anu yantente ya so poi yatu yamui yatsuati yandu amuati ya saya. Dan kupai dan na usu pusha la mai tai tua siangu dia putu tu dia ya pu tanya
That was very sweet, because I felt it as a huge connection from my soles, my feet, and down to the Earth Star. And when you really connect that there, that's when a person feels safe and balanced and clear. Because if you have a huge connection point, no matter how stormy it is, your root will keep you where you're supposed to be.
Anchors.
Anchor. I got something that I was asked to bring in here now, and it's that we talked about all these contracts. I feel that we should bring in some codes and energies to actually sustain the release, because there's still a lot of people who walk around who are doing a lot of collective clearing unconsciously. There's a lot of people who act from contracts that are way done, but they still keep repeating themselves because people aren't aware. So I feel that there should be, or that's what my guidance is telling me, there are actually codes that can sustain the release of these energies that are no longer, or contracts that are no longer necessary to keep those that just are running, both collectively and personally, because it can be between people, but whatever is between people is kind of collective too, you know.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so I feel we should, I can start out then with what comes to me, and then you can bring in what you feel, and we just talk about it after.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yakatono minishi yakatana mana ekotoike tenenene meniaka okiokotoshi menanana katayoto yakatana mana ekayo eshineme akotiki yatasha neyokoteneme okoikoteneni shiaka amatoike ketemeni tayaka tawana katawana katawana eshetio menakata oshotono menikoyo.
Fia moya takatina tia lomai niatanaya sia puya tanua ya sia chopa Huyamani I see moya la maya savu Vogliamo no boto so to tano wa ci tu puta puta no na la manda to sita radama nua seta puta nia te cantiano sotana ayo se potonionia canticano na abai so pai si a moa tonia si cadanda yamana e janina tu putantina nua nua Sierra Mona, Canada, Mania, Nuduata, la la mana, dia, so I, Yadua, Noa, Yano, Nua, Yoa, Daya.
Amane ayakatu amane ayakatu amane ayakatu Miyoketa 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 Just going to ground this energy completely into the collective using the earth dragon. Me tuam nairau, me tuam nairau, me tuam nairau, me tuam nairau, me tuam nairau. After doing this, what I feel actually in my own system is like a whole new energy frequency is coming through, radiating out into the collective information and codes on all levels. So it's like no matter where the energy is in a loop or stuck or repeating itself in anyone, there is a collective energy now available to work with it. And it's like, because of the speed up in the time you're in, it just doesn't feel like, not always do you actually need to be completely aware of it. But just being fed up is actually a signal enough for the energy to start release from you. And also your guides and your higher self can be supported in their work with the physical human in order to balance and harmonize and release all this. What was your feelings?
It feels something in the hara area and in the brain area. That's
I experienced that as a recoding of the DNA. Because from my Earth star and up to here, I became like a DNA strand. But when I came here, it was like it got the wings. It's like, probably I'm going to fly away. I don't know. It was beautiful.
Hang on.
It was so clear. Yeah, hold on.
No, Inger, stay. Yeah.
And then I got a floppy shirt to practice. No, but it was like recoding, reinforming the entire structures, and then it kind of lifts. Then it kind of lifted and connected up, like, yeah.
For me, it felt like all the contracts, the word contracts, just the word was aan het oplossen. It fade away.
Yeah.
Dissolved. And with the dissolving of the word, the whole energy that's connected to contract was freely to float, and with the different codes from the three of us, it floated above, to the left, to the past, to history, future, now, and it didn't have any meaning anymore. So it was just like a dream.
I agree with you, because the word contract have a lot of these restrictions around it in our daily language. It's like when you think contract, it's like your name on a paper, and then you're kind of stuck with that, whatever it is. You know? Absolutely, yeah. But contract can also be a very good thing. You can have a contract to do something that's very nice, or that gives you an opportunity, so that actually we can bring in the nice energy of that. A contract that just gives you an opportunity but doesn't make you be stuck. You know, like, do you want to do this? Yes, I do. Okay, here you go. You know, and it doesn't need to have any boundaries. It can just be an opportunity. So every time my body have had contract, it's like, oh no, no more contracts. I'm deal done. Okay. But I also feel that if I leave that word with that energy,
But is it
yeah,
more,
I
not
need
more commitment then?
commitment actually, that you can actually find the balance point, the harmony in that. Oh yes.
Commitment is like a positive
Yeah.
vibe.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's an opportunity that can make me grow, and I will expand on it. And the contract, if whatever we choose to call it, the commitment will expand with me.
Yeah.
Because I've had a red alert all my life when it comes to the word contract completely. Yeah.
For me, it feels dark.
Yeah.
It feels like you've been sucked into something that you don't have a choice, you
Yeah.
know?
Exactly.
And when you're there, you can't get out of it, you know?
Yeah, stuck again.
Yeah, stuck.
Exactly.
Imprisoned.
Yeah, fluid. Yeah. Fluid notice. Okay, I'm going to try to paint. I'm going to try to paint the next few months. That's the contract I do with myself. That's a good one, you know? Yeah. So we can actually.
Yeah.
They say that if you just do it from the heart and from the heart of joy, there will never be possible to put any boundaries around anything you do.
Exactly.
No one can put boundaries around your heart except yourself, and we are liberating all of that right now to flow, right? So whatever.
And also,
opportunities.
and for me, it means that words, it's a time to break them out.
Yes. Yeah, we actually need to create a new language.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Light language. Yes. And not creating, but just let it back in.
Let it back in, remembering.
Yeah.
And I still am 100% convinced that everybody will speak light language in a short time. And maybe we don't understand each other, but we do speak it. So maybe I can give some free extra codes for everybody to do their light language.
Go for it.
Yeah, so that's for the whole collective. So
I have something on it. Da 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 di da ba ya la la mandi ya la 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 mo ya ya da no wa na 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 ni ya mo ma ya o ay ya ya ba di ya no wa la no fi ya la la ni ya mo ya ni ya no wa di ya o wi wa ya da di ya mo wa ya di ya no wa do di da di mo. Little party. Whee! Have a party!
That's the right energy.
While you were doing that, Patricia, there came some pictures from you to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That I picked up that was kind of flying around. And they said, be aware of this. As a parent, stop dictating the children in the way that you tell them how it should be, but be the example and hold the space for them. And in that space, let them grow. Because no matter how much we want them to do this or that, they are here with their own purpose. And that, from being a mother of 4, I know is one of the hardest things, biggest challenges in my life.
In mine too.
Yeah, I know.
That's why this topic comes so close.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So just all we need is just hold the space.
Yeah.
Hold the space.
And that's, you said child, but it's also a grandchild.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also parents.
Parents and grandchildren and everybody hold the space and allow them to, and don't tell them you have to do this, you have to that. That time is no more.
Mhm.
That was an old experience. We don't need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we encourage them to, and we can share our experience so that they have something to listen to, but most likely they won't, because they need to go out and have that, feel the experience, feel the feelings and everything. How does it feel? What does it do to me? Do I want to repeat this or not? You know?
I have something for that now too.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot.
Puya putamania mutaya saya ya namaya ayatia mu ayaputomaya numai ya nura sutada batati kanu anamana tata sinetukuwaya sanamana takatawati sina namana pupui ko patata katuana Ai, chokotini si apagatu atakatiku atakatiana mani yacho sirana ni apapukata rada tia satatia ratupoliane vila bayatika nua chati nua cheka poya dia dia siane vidi fiatu katua ana ya pusian disia katuretea la bayatu ya tanda menia tukonania ya sopradia watatia ya tu pagatoa sha Tia ya Maria puyo eso ya toa ya pueda tata suwa batata sen ya da ya fa.
That was a huge release. Yeah, amashiko toike ketiminia kakoya, enaiko iko tetishitiya kakadani o yanana ayamana kyokoto shenmana tioto teti kitashata. So sometimes they can trigger a small pattern in us and bring it out and take a huge standpoint and release. You know what? No more. Get out. Oh, you know, da-da-da, yeah. And then they use one of us just to pinpoint that energy so that the energy actually can flow out through the entire collective. And I felt that was a huge release you took on there. It was amazing. Thank you. Beautiful. Yeah.
I have something in my neck, my
Yeah.
throat area, the throat chakra.
You got it on the left side? Okay.
It's on my left side, yeah.
Yeah.
Torishi or tatatai or tomboshi or nyamoinji or gortai toi or nyamokari dai gondardada Nair shai hush turtai araro in your corda ratatori in your
Oh.
That was very intense, very emotional.
Yeah.
The energy I felt around that was, we're speaking on behalf of your feminine side, really standing up for her, because often it's like a male and a female, they get a baby grows, it takes its own choices, which may not always be a reflection of, as we say, what the parents would decide for the child, or what the society feels is acceptable. So suddenly you can sit there with a child that takes its own path, which is kind of being condemned by many, pointing finger at, and then the parent feel guilty because not having been capable of raising the child properly. And there was a huge guilt in the throat chakra from all the mothers who have taken on that energy, that responsibility. It's my fault. that he or she didn't behave, or that she and he did behave like this or that, and kind of taking on a responsibility that actually wasn't theirs to take. Because when the child is grown or growing up, they have their own agenda, they have their own experiences they have to go through. Yeah. That was amazing. I didn't expect that one to show up.
It really
And
touches
see
my
on the screen right now, your left side, your right side here is kind of shining. You have like a light.
Yeah.
I think it's the wings that are starting to come. Yeah, it's kind of releasing a collective pain. There's no more shadow on Robert's right side.
Want to see my skin shining? It felt from really, it was from far deep down somewhere, from not this planet only. It was much bigger.
But it was huge.
Yeah,
absolutely huge.
It felt also like it felt like DNA, but it was not only that. It was something else. It was, I don't know. And it completely was a new dialect for me again.
Let me tap a little bit into that, because she we are carrying guilt with us, and what we hear we call shame from other system, because there is also other system where we have had experiences of doing things that in earthly terminology would not be stated as nice. Nice behavior. Yeah. And it's like there's been planet blew ups, there's been tribes eradicated, all this stuff. And it's like we came here, and part of our being here is the ability to work through these types of experiences in slow motion. In a higher vibration or other places, there is a different way of working through it and experiencing it. It can feel as devastating as here anyway. But this is a place where you actually, because of the intense polarity we have, we can look at it from both sides in slow motion, where we can get all the nuances within it, balanced within us.
Yeah.
And when you said that, I kind of saw a planet blew up.
Okay.
And I saw experimental things that have gone on beforehand that actually have created an imbalance on the planet. And I didn't look long into it to get the whole story, but it was like electrical blue. A lot of electrical blue, like explosion and things that went on. And some was rescued, some was not. And it was like there were those who kind of took responsibility for what had taken place and kind of have made contracts, there we have it again, with those who kind of suffered one way or the other during that, and they kind of carried it all over down here. And also having the contract, because I didn't manage to, or because what I did to you that time, I will support you and take care of you. I will pay my debt to you. All these kinds of galactic stuff that is also coming in now. Also because there's a lot of energy coming in from the area of Orion.
Yeah.
And Orion is the place where all these wars have taken place. As you have the huge balancing point of plus and minus.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of energies coming in. But it's also affecting the higher heart. They say it's also affecting the higher heart.
maybe I can help.
Do you have something for that, Robert?
Yeah, Patricia.
Yeah. First, I'd like to say
Yeah.
that I felt this deep in my heart, and it felt pure. It felt like pure from the soul and not from earth life. So it's just the energy from the soul that it was. Ayabanua tacho sito poko poko no yama to bato ya to kutkata puju to sinamaya tia popokata no to then joa ya popoto ya meto bria po ti tamano soa cha sua ya sua to put on yamanda puri ya ya ya. And it feels like the sadness, the pain, what was in that area can heal now by pureness. So it's not, it's above all the timelines. Just
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
So in the morning.
That's what you said, Robert. Don't hide your light.
Now the other side.
Then I'm harmonized, so I'm a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's weird because there's nothing there. It's just a pillow. It's funny. It's just a pillow.
Well, universe has a beautiful way of speaking to us.
Yeah. Oh, what beautiful. So, looking at the time, I want to say a few things for everybody who's listening to this. And I still believe there are more people listening to this every time because that's what I see on YouTube. So if you want to subscribe to either YouTube or be friends with Inger on Facebook and Patricia on Facebook, myself. Tonight is a premiere. Inger and myself are going to do duo healing, which is really interesting, and I'm really looking forward to it. And if other people are, because last week we got a question, and Inger has a friend, and she asked something specific for a physical
heartburn.
Heartburn, and so I gave coach on that, and it worked. So we're going to go deeper in at least with that person. If anybody else wants that, they can contact Inger or myself, and we can arrange that. Patricia and I am working on a course with free course. Put your hand on your heart, because authenticity, purity, things we talked about today are really relating to that. So it's really beautiful. We're going to put that on starseedu.com. And we also are making a course, but that will be taking a little bit longer, in the purity in the relationship, because that's what the path we choose to do together. I mean, in the beginning we thought, oh, that's really easy, nice. And now we're thinking like, okay, we still have to we do have to communicate every time. Now it's a little joke, but it was in the beginning, it sounded like really like easy going, but it wasn't. We really are going into deeper and deeper things, which are really beautiful, because if you can touch them and put them into the light and they dissolve, then there's a completely other play field. And then we come into the area where Patricia is connecting Earth and planetary systems, and my frequencies can mingle in. It's a bit like what we are doing with the three of us, and those energies you come. And that's really interesting, because I still think that's why we are here, to have this playful, and without all the contracts, the programs, and do that. So we're working on a course on that as well. And of course, we will be there next week again. And and let us know if you have any questions or you want to help in something, or just let us know. Make contact. We are here to help. And I hope everybody enjoys this again. Like, I'm shining from it. So Maybe some of you, one of the two of you wants to add something to this?
No, not for now. It was fine. It was fun doing doing this episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to thank the space fairies because I could really feel them, and on a lot of topics they were around. So
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of space for us. We can bring them in just briefly.
Yeah.
Hiya, makaka. Akatitiyo kukuto na mini akatata sa Kyokoto ni mini akatai kakati kashi kakata kakatoi kakata ma ayo kokoti tita atot kokoko katia katata sha. That means something like go out and have a fun day and don't let anything hold you back from your true expression. Yes.
Let me, for everybody who's listening to Inger at this moment, just before you can put it on replay, connect to Inger's energy, and the space fairies, you can call them in as well. So don't hesitate, and they're fun and they're really nice and they're helping in a lot of ways. So
yes, they are.
Thank everybody for watching, and hope you have enjoyed it like we do, and see you next time.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye to everybody.
Bye.